What is up, everybody? It's your boy Duty back again with another video, and it's that time of the month where we actually do a quick fact check and recap how our boy DSP did for the month. And I know sometimes I try to calculate everything. I try to calculate memberships, I try to calculate Patreon, I try to calculate, just all of the revenue sources that Phil gets, and it gets a little difficult and it gets a little muddy. And people sometimes say, well, when it comes to the ad revenue, I base it off of what I'm getting for ad revenue, so I can kind of look at his views and determine what he's making. But of course, some of that is, of course, objective. And like I always state in my videos, there's no hard numbers, so I'm making assumptions. So I'm not going to do that this month. What I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on our boy DSP's tips, which we know are accurate. And I can actually look at the super chats as well. But I'm just going to focus on the tips this month. And oh my lord, if our boy Phil ever cries poor mouth or begs, we should reference this. And it is shocking. I think this is probably the first time I've done it where I just analyzed the tips specifically, especially since our boy Phil harps on tips so much. So real quick, big ups to Piece of Peace and his tip tracker. It is an amazing tool. I'm going to link it in the description of the video. And put a link to Piece of Peace's channel. Definitely go sub to him, give him some love. He does great work. I mean, this is amazing how he manages to keep all of these numbers accurate and up to date. So big ups to Piece of Peace. So essentially what I did was I looked at the October numbers for tips, starting 10/1 all the way down to 10/31. And essentially I took the actual tips for both streams right out of column. Let's see here. It's essentially I took column. So I took column R for the first stream, and then column AD for the second stream. And what I did was I brought everything over into a separate spreadsheet. Right here it is. These are all the actual tips that our boy Phil received, and as you can see, he actually had 56 separate streams for the month, so essentially 23 in the morning and 23 night streams. And as you can see here, boy, our boy Phil actually cleaned up pretty well. So if you take all of the amounts, right, and you just do a simple formula, sum A1 through A56, you get a grand total of $9,750.66. So our boy Phil made nearly 10 grand in October, just in tips alone. I'm not even looking at the super chats, not looking at ad revenue, not looking at Patreon, not even looking at memberships, which we know he was gifted a nice, lovely sum of memberships, which will be rolling off pretty soon. But yeah, Phil made a killing for October. And I know Phil always complains and says, oh, it's always something that comes up that hurts me, that everything's going well, and then something pops up, normal life shit that everyone deals with. But of course for Phil, anything that happens to him, like his broken dishwasher, the dishwasher's a detractor. It just can't simply be, this is normal life shit. And our boy Phil can't, handle it. His car got messed up. He had to repair his car, which was about $1,100. He needs the dishwasher, which he still hasn't paid for. But even with those issues that pop up, our boy Phil managed to pull in almost $10,000 just in tips. $10,000. Now I know PayPal takes a little cut, and he has to pay taxes on this, but we all know that Phil doesn't pay his taxes accurately and doesn't pay it monthly or quarterly. You just wait to the end of the year. So our boy Phil has $9,750. Even if you take away the taxes, which are about 30%, barring any expenses that you can write off, and Phil writes everything off at WWE Champions. Phil still is gonna walk away with at least $6 grand, maybe a little bit more. He's gonna walk away with roughly about $6,000 just in tips alone after taxes. That's amazing. That is that's very amazing to look at. So, of course, I like to hold our boy DSP accountable, especially during his beg segments where he cries poor mouth and screams about not having enough money to, you know, take his wife out for a meal. If Phil can't manage on just his tips alone, then Phil is utterly failing at life and should be all his cards, and I mean life cards, you know, like being an adult, having a home, managing your life, should be taken away from him, because he doesn't deserve it if he can't manage to live off of the 97, almost the 10 grand that he got just in tips. Okay. And then let's add in all the other stuff, membership, ad revenue, so on. We're up there. We're up there. Phil had a banner month in support. And, you know, he's probably going to end up making anywhere between $16,000 and $20,000 for the month of October. Seriously, that's what he's going to, his YouTube check, well, not his tips, his YouTube checks, I mean, he got, I think, about 670,000 views. So, you know, if you do the ad revenue for that, that's roughly about $2,500 in ad revenue. And then memberships, you know, he's going to get a big chunk of that. What, $2,500 just in memberships alone? So right there, we're looking at $5,000, and that is not even including the super chats. Our boy Phil is gonna be making anywhere between $15,000 and like $16,000 and $20,000 this month. So that should be plenty to get Phil, you know, in a good financial situation where he doesn't have to constantly beg. But I'm positive that Phil will continue to beg. He won't change that. I know he stopped beg. He didn't beg last night, but that's because, of course, of the whole issue with Moist Critical and aka Penguin Zero, where he's trying to paint himself and retcon 14 years of begging to make it seem like, I don't beg. Look at this stream. I didn't beg on this stream. Yeah, Phil. You know what's the saying? Even a broken clock is right twice a day. That's you, Phil. And I'm pretty sure with your day off coming, you're going to be begging tomorrow, and especially if it's a slow day tomorrow, you're going to go hardcore begging. Just like you said, you know, with your tweets that, oh, you know, tweets don't make a difference. I'm not going to tweet because it doesn't make a difference. You did it for one day. What happened the next day? You tweeted out twice. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Just holding DSP accountable whenever he's poor mouth, or whenever he claims he doesn't have any money. Here you go, folks. He made $9,750 in tips alone for October. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace out.